This land is more than it appears to be. Our grandmother lives and breathes just as we do. But if you listen for it, you will hear her suffocating. Azeroth is weary of our endless war with the Alliance. She begs us to learn from the rivers and see that we all drink from the same water. We all breathe the same air. We are, all of us, brothers and sisters of the Earth Mother. We may not see it yet, but perhaps one day we'll be.
Blade Shadow appears from the shadows, driving a dagger deep into the neck of the female, allowing blood to spill forth from the river, dyeing the small portion of the South Fury red. He pointed a crooked finger at the male, sneering to him as he did so. Grug Blade Shadow says his regards, see? Yeah! With his other hand, he raised a single, unassuming orb. He swiftly crushed the orb in his hand, enveloping the small area in a thick plume of smoke. He was gone before he was even fully realized, leaving nothing but a sad, desperate attempt at ERP in his wake. At least now, Thundercrow would not have to go through the trivialities of waiting on the female to reply. He'd simply take his quarry here in the deep rivers, with none the wiser.
The hell was that? Okay, so your TRP stock is looking pretty high so far, kid. Great work. But if you're gonna be competing with the big boys here in Orgrimmar, I'm gonna have to do something about your transmog. My transmog? Whatever is wrong with it? Nothing. It's just, Shadowlands is just around the corner, see? Meaning we have to get you fitted with the latest and greatest armor for your spec if you're gonna be keeping your place in the charts. Well, time to try my luck with Elefar, I guess. Or maybe ask around for some raid buddies. Or you could apply for one of our 3-step programs to get ahead of the competition while everyone else is raiding. Hell, if you apply today, you could be eligible for our weekly Shadowlands pre-pack. Really? How much gold is that going to cost me? Nothing! For the first week.
Suddenly, from the darkest corner of the bank, Blade Shadow appears and stabs the stupid Valpera roleplayer in the back, slaying him on the spot like the useless noob he is. Wickedly, he allows the crimson stream of blood to spill all over the wooden floor, staining the room with the remains of his helpless, furry-loving victim. He then turns toward the tiny goblin stockholder and points his blade dagger toward her, with a dark smile on his face. Name's
Not another one of these guys. The third one this week.
As the goblin is processing the sudden shock of Grug's intervention, he pulls a simple orb out of his pocket and holds it aloft before throwing it on the floor, vanishing from sight with a terrifying burst of
Yeah, whatever. Look, go make another Death Note AMV or something, loser. I'm sure all 3 of your friends on MySpace will be super impressed with it. Just try not to cut yourself on all that edge on your way out, okay? Door's that way. Now get lost.
Blade Shadow sneers with a sinister grin at the foolish goblin banker. See you in your nightmares, he says before teleporting behind the goblin and cutting her face open with his katana, leaving behind a permanent scar to remember him by before he disappears without a trace, like the master ninja that he is.
Wow, what an asshole.
How much longer is she gonna take? I got a thing in like 15 minutes.
Oh, no, you don't. You said you wanted to try running through a dungeon, remember? I told you to be time-consuming, and you said that it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, but this is so boring. Couldn't we just charge through it and kill everything like we do everywhere else in this game?
We've been over this. Even the simplest dungeons need at least 3 people to run them. You're the tank, I'm the DPS, which means we'll be ready to go once the healer shows up. She's just taking a phone call and will be here any minute now.
Oh, come on! If we're already crushing everything in our way, we won't need no stinking healer. Hey, let's get that guy over there to help us.
Who, him? Don't even think about it. His specs are abysmal, his gear hasn't been repaired in days, his profile is a jumbled mess of—
Hey, you with the fedora, think you got what it takes to help make this dungeon our bitch, and step right up and prove your strength to the Horde. Loktar! Blade Shadow scowls at the 2 pathetic miscreants. What? He says darkly, shooting them a terrifying glance as the 2 of them back away in fear. You think I've got any time to waste with a stupid cow and his bitch-ass boyfriend? Hey.
What did you just call me?
With a sadistic grin, he pulls forth his katana. The razor-sharp blade gleams in the sunlight, reflecting their pitiful faces back at them. In that moment, they knew they were utterly doomed. Grug Blade Shadow has better things to do than join in on your wretched attempt at ARP, you losers. Hey-ya! We're not ERPers, dude.
I don't seem to hear you clarifying what it was you called me.
With a single, terrible swipe, he cuts the horns off of the Tauren's stupid head before swinging downward and severing his head completely. His body falls to the ground with a mighty thump, shaking the earth as the green grass is turned red from the blood that gushes from his open wounds. What? Hey, that's not very... And as the prissy bitch elf boy watches in horror, Grug shoots him a jagged grin and cackles darkly. You gonna cry now? Huh? He laughs in a mocking tone, pointing at him with his crooked finger. You useless little bitch. Go back to Silvermoon with the rest of your bitch-ass friends and let them know that Grug Blade Shadow sends his regards, bitch, he said before lifting a shadowy orb from his pocket and vanishing without a trace, leaving the elf all alone in the dark forest, quivering, mortified, afraid.
Hey guys, sorry it took so long. Who's that guy?
People, please, settle down. We're dealing with the situation as best we can.
I was this close to hosting a perfect RP event, and that asshole ruined everything. He's driving all my customers away. He made me switch sides.
Yes, I'm aware of what's been going on, but rest assured, I and the rest of the Horde's leadership have a foolproof plan to deal with this pest. We do have a plan, don't we?
I got one for ya. You see, this not be any normal role player, Big Chief. No. This thing been here since the beginning. Him be one of the most cancerous role players of all time, the Edgelord. You're gonna be needing a special touch if we wanna be getting rid of him. Something more fouler than any Edgelord, you dig?
Foul? Even than him? Can we even afford to take that risk?
If you be serious about this, then it be the only way. But I be warning you, man. This thing will summon in. It won't be leaving until it's had its fill. Maybe you're gonna be appeased by a little problem, or maybe not. We only gonna know for sure when the deed be done.
It is a most perilous risk, but we're running out of options. We've already reported him 3 times and nothing ever came of it. This must be done.
Oh, trust me, Big Chief. If this not gonna scare him away from the game, nothing will. Zuko, Huh? Hello? Who's there? Thought I heard something.
Nah.
What the? Blade Shadow draws forth his katana and sneers darkly at the interloping Tal'Darai male. What's this? He growls at the Alliance dog, an assassin sent to kill the mighty Grug himself? The boys in blue have really outdone themselves this time. With one swipe of his mighty sword, Blade Shadow cuts the night elf clean in half in an instant, slaying his enemy just as quickly as he appeared.
The blade passes through a shadowy illusion, fading away before the orc's eyes as his real opponent attacks him from behind.
Huh? Wait, you can't do that! No fair!
With one punch, the Tal'Darai stuns the orc, knocking all the air out of his lungs and leaving him sprawled upon the ground. You think quite highly of yourself, don't you? He asks mockingly, smirking beneath his mask. I bet your parents taught you that you mean something, that you're here for a reason. My parents taught me a different lesson. Burning a Telversil for no reason at all.
Really, is there anything worse than a god model on an RP server?
If there is, I haven't seen it. Grug, suddenly throws his shadowy orb onto the ground, disappearing before the elf can get his hands on him. You think you're tough, huh? He cackles darkly. What are you gonna do now? What are you gonna...
Without hesitation, the assassin reaches into the darkness and clutches Grug's armor, throwing him into a wall and beating his face in.
No, he didn't.
There's nowhere you can hide from me, he says as the orc pleads desperately for mercy. I am Elun's Dark Avenger. I am the bane of the Horde. I am the...
Ignore! That was close. For a second there, I thought it was...
Max level ult, bitch! This is the end for you, Grunt Blade Shadow, the assassin says triumphantly, drawing forth his favorite dagger and holding it aloft so that his enemy can see it before he dies. I'm going to enjoy killing one of the Horde's most lethal warriors in their own city. The orc begs like a dog for his life, but the Kaldorite does not hear it. He then stabs his enemy in the throat, spilling Grug's blood all over the ground and staining it deep red. The rage and desperation fade from Grug's eyes as his body goes limp, dying in the bowels of Orgrimmar, where his body would rot for the rest of time, with none the wiser.
It's not fair! It's not fair! You ruined my life! See if I ever log into this stupid game again!
It's actually over, and we have this Alliance player to thank for it.
Way to go, big guy, you saved the city!
Yeah!
Excellent work.
The shadowy assassin's eyes narrow toward the ignorant crowd that applauds him. Enjoy yourselves while you can, he snarls darkly, because one day I'll be coming for every last one of you and burning this stupid city to the ground. You Horde are all the same, and are all guilty of the same evil deeds. You can run, but you can't hide, and one day, when you least expect it, know that it'll be my dagger that cuts your throat and leaves you dying in agony, while Orgrimmar goes up in flames all around you. For Teldrassil, and for the Alliance!
What have we done?